Hello and welcome to our podcast. This is Sofa Broker. Checking in from East London. Once again, a beautiful October morning. I'm here with my partner in crime, cohort, white t-shirt wearing, I want to be Steve Jobs, Mr. Daniel McPeake. Hello, Daniel. How are you?
What did Steve Jobs wear? Was it ever
Black
so
doodles,
you've just said is completely indifferent.
Yeah, but you're doing the whole tech entrepreneur wearing a
What, because I've got a t-shirt on? I wore t-shirts before other people wore t-shirts. No, hang on, I've just made myself old. You're the old one.
Really? When were t-shirts invented?
I remember having a t-shirt back in the day that said The Jam written across it.
As in the band The Jam?
Yeah, but I never knew what The Jam was because I was about 5.
Not Hartley's Jam?
No, not Hartley's Jam. No, that's a Hartley's Jam factory. Is that been converted now?
It comes with parking, doesn't it?
It comes with parking.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody.
Someone did say to me, you know, what's the biggest?
Hang on, wait, because I think that is the biggest mistake. Yeah. Let's delve into that right now, right? So if you're going to let's get down on the kids and everyone out there that wants to get into real estate.
The kids are all right.
The kids, I say the kids, it could be anyone up to 50, which is just my age. I'm not 50 yet, but I'm getting there. Solly's way past it. Got his own bus pass member. Are you a member of Saga yet? You're a member of Saga because I sent Saga every single email I could find on Solly's name, knowing he'd be 50, hoping on your 50th birthday you'd open the front door to a load of, or not open the front door, enter the hallway, because you've got a hallway. Solly's got a really nice hallway, by the way. I see it for the first time the other day. It's great. And the hallway would be covered in Saga, which is that, cruise ship. It's over 50s, isn't it? And over
so 50. that to me seems unfair. So, I mean, why 50? Why not? I mean, 55 would be better, wouldn't it?
Well, we have all moved forward. Now that we actually realise that we're going to die at some point, and we've got less.
It's a beautiful day.
We've had more life than we had left, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure my lifestyle fits into your theory here, but anyway.
Well, not a lot of people hhit 100, do they, mate? So you're on the way down.
I'm just praying Keith Richards does.
Yeah, you're on the way down. I can't remember what I was saying, but it was something attacking Solly about being a member of Saga, which if Saga, if you want to send any catalogues about your cruise ships over to Solly, please feel free to do so, because there's a very good chance he won't fucking get in reply and he won't take part. But Prince William, let's just quickly check in on this, just to remind everyone. From last Christmas, we sent a letter to Prince William.
We sent it nearly a year ago, I reckon.
We sent nearly a year ago.
Or was it November?
You sent the letter.
Producer Stan sent it on my behalf.
But you writ it and you sent it asking him what was going on.
I wrote it.
He's a friend of yours.
He's not a friend of mine. He's not. We went to the same school. That is it.
Yeah, well, if you go to the same school, you're posh and he's posh.
I left about 2-3 years before he went there.
Doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter. Did you know Boris?
No, I knew his brother.
Posh. Stan, did Prince William, has he yet, of October the 4th, replied to Solly at all? So,
what's your point here?
My point is, how does someone that knows nothing about sales in general, but we're pointing to real estate because we know it well, how does someone think one day, I'd really like to be a real estate agent? How do they get into it? Like, not how do they do evaluation, not kind of that stuff, not like the in-depth thing, just the first week, the first couple of weeks when they're deciding to do it. So maybe they're, like we've said all day, working in Joe the Juice, or they're selling t-shirts somewhere, wherever they are, working on a burger stall, or they could be, a merchant banker. Anything, whatever they want to do. How do they make the jump by straight away making a jump? Do they start with it being a side hustle? Mm-hmm. How would they stop? How do they evolve?
I think there's a very simple first question answer to your question, and that is finances. Okay, you cannot be a self-employed real estate broker without money. Okay, it's just as simple as that. One, to feed yourself. Two, for the ongoing costs involved in it. So a lot of people think probably by getting into being a self-employed agent and having access to social media and tech, that's it. You can be an agent, and that's right. And you actually can. That's the beauty of it. You and I could both start an agency tomorrow on our phones. We know that, and we're not sort of doing it anyway. But there's still money in and around that. And it's even, and you and I know. Remember when we started London Lofts, and we were right in the heart of our career, rocking and rolling, making lots of money and all that kind of stuff. And we went in a different direction together. Started this great brand. We didn't do a sale, even us geniuses. We didn't do a sale for 6 months. Now, and that was from a rolling start. Now, obviously, we had lots of other business coming in through rentals and all that kind of stuff because we had that rolling start. So if you don't have that, you've got to be looking at, worst case scenario, maybe a year without income from this particular part of it. So money, it's all about money. So if you've been an investment banker, you've probably got some. If you're working at Joe and the Juice, you probably need to keep working at Joe and the Juice, I'm guessing, unless you work at Joe and the Juice because you don't want to be anywhere near your rich parents.
That's really important. So, and I couldn't think of anything else someone needs to do if they want to get into it. It's good.
Sorry to butt in there. There is also the other option.
You did.
Yeah, I did. I know. Sorry, but it made me think because you're talking about real estate, and I then went straight into self-employed because that's all I've ever really been. Yeah. Of course, if you are lucky enough to get a 9-to-5 job, which I say lucky enough, obviously that's not for me, but if you need the 9-to-5 job, then you just go and work for an estate agent, which is how you started. We all know your famous GTI story. There was obviously you wanted the car, but no, you wanted the salary, you wanted the money, right?
Yeah, I wanted to see where it could go. There wasn't many options for someone like me, and this was an opportunity to wear a suit. Can I say, being honest, and
why else would you have worn a suit before that? Do you think?
I don't know.
Such a leading question.
I don't know. I'm not going to go down that way. So it is about you need some money. So there's two routes into the money. You've got someone that's been at a merchant bank or someone that's just got some money or someone that can be behind them, a partner, in that intention, maybe your mum, your dad, whatever, rich aunt. But you do need, this is the one I just want to drill across, because it's no good watching various TV programs and thinking, being a real estate agent is going to catapult me straight away into this world. And now I'm running around and I'm able to say, I'm a real estate agent with no experience behind you, with no proven sales. You're going to find that catapultation, Stanley, book that. The catapultation.
The
right?
Danuary. Yeah, no, what's it called? The that thing.
Yeah, the Danuary thing, right? And you need the cash, right? You're going to need the simplest of things. You're going to need to eat. And to eat, you're going to need some money because you're going to have to spend time on this. That said, my cheery little fellow friend sitting over there in a check t-shirt looking very suave. That said, it can be a side hustle. So you can drip into it. Strong word. Oh, we like that, don't you?
All right, Dad's using the word drip.
You can drip into it. It can start as small.
Does your t-shirt drip?
And become bigger, right? And that's really another way in. So you could be working at Joe in the Juice, and there's various other chains of juice out there.
Name one.
Joe's Not Juice. It's the one near me.
Anyway, moving on.
Juice, it's a fake one, Romford.
I love it.
And so you can do that. So there is that way in, right? So first thing, simply put, get your finances sorted out.
Yeah.
Okay. Even if you're going to go into it and your finances say, right, I've got 500 quid to spend on it. Allocate that money, but know the burn is going to be slower because it equates to your cash.
Yep.
If you're going to drop 10 grand on it and go do some stuff, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to do more business quicker.
It can make you look more established, though.
Good point. Yeah, that's a very Etonized point there. Looking established is what all posh people have done and gone to school to do. Right? You said it yourself. They'll look a little bit posher because they've got the older the old swagger.
We did talk about that.
So there's that. What other point? Genuinely, I think so, and I'm sure you would agree. That's number one.
It is.
Yeah.
You can't start any business without money. It's as simple as that. I know we live in a world, and hopefully there are people that are younger and younger listening to what we talk about. But obviously you can do things as a youngster with access to tech and TikTok and that kind of stuff. And I get that will make you money that probably doesn't need too much in the way. But then you still need things like really good cameras or good sound equipment or whatever, if that's the world you're going into. And in our world, it's just things like you've got to be able to pay for, I don't know, a bit of social media marketing, or you've got to be able to pay for, you tell me, how much does it cost to film, photograph, floor plan, and EPC a 1,500 square foot 4-bedroom house?
I would budget on 500.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to need that. So, and you need to prepare and have that ready, because there is going to be the second thing we'll move on to. Same point. You're starting off. You don't know what to do. There's nothing written down or telling you what to follow. So this is what you're going to do, right? The third thing you're going to do is pick up your phone. Yeah. And you've got a phone. Everyone has, right? And you are going to start phoning people, right? This is a point where, WhatsApp, tech, Insta, all these other things are great, but people in your phone, this is a safe place.
Totally.
Right? They're people that you probably know, otherwise they're not in your phone. And if they are in your phone, it's just weird, right? So you're going to actually spend some time and you're going to go through your phone book and you're going to call them. And you're going to say to each of them, if I was talking to you, I'd be like, oh, hi, Solly, I'm looking to get into real estate. I'm really interested in doing it. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've got a massive passion around it and I want to, get going any way I can. So if you've got anyone out there that's, interested in buying or selling a home, please point in my direction, even if they're, miles away from where I am. I just want to have conversations with people that are looking to buy and sell. Do you think that's something you can help me with? Right, and it's very important that you say, do you think that's something you can help me with? People like to help. Okay, they won't say no. And you're also there expanding your phone, your database.
Yep.
So your phone is your database now, right? So that's the first thing you're going to start to realize. This is everyone in your phone is now in your database. And you need to try and change that from, if there's 50 people in your database, you need to change that to 100. So asking them if anyone else is involved, you say, great, do you think I can give them a call and will you let them know to expect me? Okay, so warm the call up, right? So you've asked, is there anyone else? So you're going to get them to phone up for you and ask, and then you're going to give this person a call. And it may be that this person hasn't got a property to sell. They haven't got a house to sell. But everyone loves talking about property.
They might have a friend who does.
They might have a friend.
Do you think if someone is too nervous or shy to do that, they've got a chance of making it in this business? Do you reckon if you can't do that first bit?
Right. Okay. It's very interesting.
And I'm talking about now, not talking about in the olden days where there wasn't so much around the space that would help you sort of do that bit for you. And I'm probably talking about social media, really.
So this is where speed cuts in. Okay. And speed will make you successful quicker. Mm-hmm. If you go on your phone and you call everybody up, right, and maybe out of that 50 people, 30 people, give you someone else to talk to, and you'll very rarely find that there's people that are looking to sell today, but you might be surprised, so do it. So can you do it without that? Yes. Okay. You can take a step down from it. So the ideal thing to do is to phone everybody up. Because you're aggressive and you're out there and you've got to want to make it, okay? You've got to want to be that footballer that never has touched alcohol, because more than anything, you want to be the best. You've got to want this, guys. You've really got to want it, because if you want to be the guy or girl talking about, the amount of money you're banking or the properties you're dealing with or the locations you're going with around the world, it's got to be real. Okay, that's an element of realization that comes with it being real. You don't start like that. Okay, that's the problem I think a lot of agents try and do. They try and start and they try and, fake it till you make it stuff. That's over. We've done that now. That
I agree. And
exist.
I think that's incredibly important. And without being too serious, because this isn't a serious podcast, but the people I've seen being successful from scratch, the side hustle ones who have gone into it, the ones who don't come from estate agents or the industry, who and obviously we can see how people are doing because of social media, right? And we stay in contact because you should do. And the ones I've seen have been successful, or looking like they're successful, have clearly come in with that some kind of financial backing, and B, have had some kind of a period of time in which they've given themselves to get to that point, which to me is obviously, I think, selling a property, right? It's not listing, it's selling something. And some of those people have taken 6, 8, 10, 12 months to do that. But you can just tell from the way that they hold themselves when you meet them at open houses and how their social media has become better. And, you can see that that's someone with a game plan, and that looks successful, and that looks like a really good foundation for me. Flip side, you can see people that do try and do the quick social media will turn me into a real estate agent superstar. And they're the ones that sort of, I've noticed, have sort of fallen by the wayside a little bit. Less visible, all of that kind of thing. So
because there's a load of energy you need to do to keep that. I don't want to say pretense, because it's the wrong word, because you can do this way, but there's so much energy required to do that. So when you said, can you do it without phoning people up on your phone? There is a slower way, and that is, via Instagram and places like that. But it's slower, but takes up more energy. It's less. You're not at the money. You're skirting around, and there will be people on social media that will miss you. And I think a really good example of not telling everyone that you're a agent, you can deliver it, is the conversation that we was given by Ravi, our long lost great friend and sales trainer. I think we both remember him saying
this goes exactly. And I think, and funny enough, we talk about, learning all the time. And when we first met Ravi, I was in my mid 40s, I guess. You're a bit younger, and Ravi, similar sort of age, and we learned from him pretty quickly. And he learned from. So I remember vividly one of the first things he said, and I thought, I'm still learning. Yeah. And Ravi was telling the story how he was a rental agent in New York, doing very, very well, putting people into high end stuff in Manhattan, and then. I think he was out at a bar a few years after he had rented a place to some banker guy maybe. Okay. And the banker guy goes, "Oh, Ravi, how are you?" And Ravi goes, "Oh, great, yeah, whatever." And Ravi says, "Are you still living in the same flat?" And the guy says, "Oh, no, I bought something on the Upper East Side." And Ravi was sort of crestfallen, hurt, like dagger in the heart. And he said, "Well, why didn't you come to me? Why, we had a great relationship." He said, "Ravi, you didn't tell me that you did sales as well as rentals." Uh-oh. He just did. And this is what you talk about. Tell people what you do the whole time, and I, when Ravi said that, I was just like, I've never thought of that, but my God, there's probably been loads of times in my career where I've, deemed to be just selling loft apartments in Borough, and I've probably missed a potential client because they thought I just did loft apartments in Borough when actually I don't,
So that's again something that seems to be a bit old school, but I think is really important, which is having a business card.
Yeah.
And, everyone, if you're going to go into this, one of the first 2 weeks you're going to do is you're going to lay out what you're going to do. You're going to have business cards with a mobile number and whatever. And you just have your name and a mobile number. And I like selling property, whatever you want to put on there. But remember, you're telling everybody, okay? It's always about you. You've got to be telling them. So the second bit of advice after having your money sorted out is, get on the phone, tell everybody what you're doing. Set aside X amount of days to do that. Go back if they're engaged, or are people engaged anymore? You always get through to someone, then, because it says call on the other side. Yeah. I missed that. I missed the engaged. So you can do that, but also think about a clever, very light to get bit of information you can give out is your business card. You don't know who's selling and who's buying. And woe betide you from the highest way of the woe should you find out that your next door neighbour but one has put their property on the market and it's sold via someone else.
Yeah.
That is heartbreaking.
From many years of doing this, there is nothing more heartbreaking, especially as a self-employed agent, is walking past or seeing a property that you've either been to see but haven't followed up, or you could have just done something about them knowing about you, and then the for sale board goes up and you're like, oh my God.
So get that nailed down, get that in place and ready to go forward. So what part of advice do you think that you could give to people that would add to this? So we've got, get your money in order, tell everybody what you're doing. What's the third thing?
I don't know if this is right or wrong, but this is what worked for me, and that is tunnel vision.
Okay.
See, art dealers, they know a lot about art, right? And they might be specialists in pop art or modern art.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wouldn't go and buy a Monet or a Manet from someone who deals in Liechtenstein and Warhol.
Yeah.
Okay, and one would hope that person who deals with the pop art has tunnel vision in their business, and that's what I'm really good at. And I don't know if this is right or wrong in the modern world where you can get information out more quickly. But I think spreading yourself too thin in terms of the type of real estate you do, obviously geographically, if you're going to try and if you live in Belfast and you're trying to be a Mayfair agent, it just can't happen. And that's nothing to do with Belfast or Mayfair. I don't know either of those areas particularly well, actually. It's just you can't do it.
Yeah.
And a Mayfair agent wouldn't be able to sell in Belfast. It's not to do with price points here. And I think the one thing that I had, which I was incredibly lucky about, is I just loved post-industrial buildings when I first got into it. And I didn't veer from it for 20 years. And it still feeds me and us now, doesn't it? That thing. So I think, if you are based in Ipswich, be an Ipswich agent and have your radar and have your tentacles ready for it, something that might come to you. And don't say no to money. If someone says, look, I've got something in
don't
in Canterbury,
money, yeah.
Then don't try and sell that thing in Canterbury because you can't, but collaborate. Collaborate, something we'll talk about, I'm sure, a lot and have done moving forward. But I think the third thing is knowing what you want to do in terms of the type of property you deal with. I think that's kind of important.
I think that is, because you was massively into lofts, so you were geographically had a wider net you needed to cast. Yeah. And I think if someone's just starting out and they have goals of selling this type of property or that type of property, start out by selling the property that you can walk to. Can you walk to it? Because property is property. It's just about people. We're not in an industry of property. We're in the industry of people. And you can learn a lot when you're talking to people and when you're out there. So if you can get there and if you can walk there and get around, you'll learn more quicker. You already know the area because it's your area. So again, here's a fantastic way of getting your business card out there. If you're going to the hairdressers, tell them you need to work in a way that doesn't sound too shouty or aggressive, that you are an agent in with everybody. I do it all the time, and it doesn't matter who I'm talking to or what I'm talking about. I make sure I leave that conversation where people know I'm an estate agent and they've taken my card. I do not fail without making that happen. And that's what people need to do. If they can go out their front door and they can walk up the street, and there's a coffee shop, is a good start. Everyone seems to be doing that at the moment. Oh, I'll be in this coffee shop for X amount of hours. Don't know if it works. I don't think nothing bad about it. Do it, try it, see.
Well, at the high level,
has it happened for you? Did you get an instruction via it?
Yeah, and we know someone who hangs around in a very well-known private members' place in the city all day, every day, and I bet you that makes them a little bit extra over and above.
And also, and it's down to that. If your favourite shop is Tesco's and you go there once a week to do your shopping and you bump into people or you speak to someone, let them know what you do. I think there's three massive points then that I think that both of us, get your money sorted out. Okay, know where you're going to be. Know if you can actually get involved or not. And know the amount of money you have, so the level of involvement you can deliver to the client. Get that sorted out now. Okay, get the your phone book out and go through it. You've got to get used to phoning people. I know we WhatsApp and people don't like to do it and they like to DM and everything, and that works. But that's more with strangers or people you don't know or acquaintances. If you know them and they've got them in your phone book, and I won't say this again because I know it bores everyone, it is a sandbox, it's a soft area, you can fuck up, right? It's okay.
Yeah.
Your nan isn't going to get pissed off if you phone her and ask her about a fat, right? So do that. And the third thing to do is pick your location. Stick to it for a year. Don't, God forbid, let other people pull you in different directions because of LinkedIn.
I was going to say exactly that.
Yeah. I mean, that is crazy. Don't take on any hotels because they're not going to be for sale.
Stay in one, just don't try and sell it.
Don't try and take on a block of flats for 50 people that someone wants you to get involved in.
Oh, actually, Dan, on that note, just quickly, I did get a message on LinkedIn to some guy. He's never met me before, but he's seen my profile and quite likes it. And he's wondering if I can sell 68 units Palm Jumeirah in Dubai. Yeah. I said yes.
Yeah. All people like that I just ignore, right? You've got to realise that to do this industry and to be in it, you've got to fuck everyone off around it and just keep, like Solly said, really one track to mind.
I think tunnel vision does. It helps in life anyway.
What's the biggest bit of advice you ever got when you was getting into like life? Is there
into property or just
is there any family friends that you spoke to? Is anyone?
I do remember, and I do slightly regret not following this through as well. And I remember my dad was having a really posh lunch with his best mate. His family are massive developers.
Very, very posh. What sort of level of posh are we talking about?
It was a place called Petrus.
Would you have been there in a Bentley or anything like that? Would you have a chauffeur?
I didn't know. But maybe the two people having lunch.
They had a chauffeur, one each, or they came
I think
together?
They went in. My dad's not that rich.
No, I know, but did you have a sofa? Not a sofa, a chauffeur.
A sofa chauffeur?
Yeah. Did you?
No. I was probably hungover to hell, scruffy, and they were there sitting at the back of this restaurant. It looked like something out of Gangs of London or something.
Right, nice.
And they were having, partridge or something like that.
They was having partridge?
Probably.
And it wasn't Christmas?
I think it was grouse, maybe.
Man, I've never had it.
Anyway, that's not the point. The point is they were having a very nice big lunch and obviously whatever. I sat down and I think I was just starting to I was getting out of Clutton's, I'll say the name, and starting Cityscope. So that dates it, right?
That does date it. It's in 1920s.
Yeah, 1920s. And I sat down and I think I managed to grab a glass of wine off them or something like that. Maybe one of the truffles. I don't know. I'm just winding up now. And so it goes, so Solly, what are you up to? And I said, well, I'm just starting a new agency and all that kind of stuff. And obviously he couldn't get his head around the fact that it was going to be out of an apartment, no suits, all that kind of stuff. And he said, whatever you do, get qualified, get your RICS. Ooh. And he obviously didn't know me well enough to know that was just never going to happen. Having said that, I've always slightly regretted not going through that process. Especially at a young age when you got, you just do stuff like that. Say yes to that and do it. And I didn't because I thought it was too cool, too rock and roll, and my, selling lofts was going to be great. But I think it works in many. One, it's just great to have it because you can always get a job.
Yeah.
And two, on that note, if you are more of a side hustle merchant and you're getting into real estate because you want to do it on the side and you have a passion, but it's not your main thing, if you've got RICS after you can get paid for valuations.
Yeah.
And when you think about, how much money have we, not made by one of us not having those letters after our name purely because, it could be, we could have just done a load of valuations in our spare time. We could have done it, on referrals, but we can't. We then had to refer it back to someone else who's got those letters, got the qualification. So that, if you think over 25 years, probably quite a lot of money has been, left behind.
100%.
So I do regret that.
So would you do that differently now?
Yeah, I'd have just done it.
Would you just go and do it as part of it? And
yeah, I'd have done it. I still would have done my lofts and everything. But imagine being that amazingly cool bespoke agency right at the cusp of the sort of internet revolution, all that stuff that we're doing that was so groundbreaking. But I wish I'd done it.
And would that be the same for someone today?
I think so.
If you was looking at, one of the people today that wants to get into this, Do they need to still do that?
I don't know. You don't, because you don't have to do it. No, but would I have done it? Yes, and I don't think that's changed.
And it is beneficial. So you are, it aims with the side hustle that the world's moving into.
Yeah, I mean, I think valuations are really a side hustle. I think you've got to be a bit more serious about it. But there's money there, and also I think how cheap agency has become in the sort of post Rightmove era. I do think that you're stealing a march over those sorts of. You're cleaner.
Yeah. You're cleaner. Okay, that's interesting. And on that note, I'd like to thank you all for turning up again and listening to us talking about stuff. Do listen to what we say in terms of if you want to start out and what you want to do. Whether or not you decide to do it or not from the information we've given you is up to you. But 25 each year's experience in this, that's our feedback. So Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube nailed it. Didn't even need a bit of paper in front of me. And it's goodbye from me, and I'll see you later.
Ciao.